If you clicked on this video because you're honestly trying to get back an avoidant ex who dumped you, well, you came to the right place, because I spent almost 20 years trying to chase down and get back emotionally unavailable people who rejected me. Here are just a few of the tips that did work to get an avoidant ex back. Give them lots and lots and lots of space. Teach them that you are a safe place for them to come back to. Try not to overwhelm them with all of your emotional needs. Take a break from social media so they're not oversaturated by your presence. Avoid serious relationship talks. Show them that you can be casual. No matter how much you want to talk to them, make sure you wait until they contact you. Be unattainable. Whenever you're around them, always make sure you look your best. Don't ever let things get too real. Don't let it get too real. Don't ever be too real. Be the fantasy. It's like, yeah, be the breadcrumb relationship that you never wanted. Now, if you can't tell, I have a personal problem with all of this advice, and one of the biggest problems I have with it is it works. I know it works from personal experience, and I know it works because I have talked to so many people over the years who have all said the same thing. It's all the same pattern. They finally get over their avoidant ex and begin to move on with their lives, and that's when they come back. Because now you're not giving them any attention. You're not overwhelming them with your needs. You're not asking them for anything. They probably only ever see you on a social media screen now, where, we all always look our best on social media, but it's a 2D image. It's only half of us. Continuing to go out of your way to create a safe space for someone who dumped you without taking your own needs into consideration, stuffing down every dream that you want, and continuously feeling like you have to make yourself up to look like you belong on the cover of a magazine, while trying to convince yourself that you're okay with a casual relationship, will never get you the real love that you want. These things are superficial and fake, and it won't even last, because we're not fake. We're not robots. Eventually, our personalities and needs and feelings are going to come out. And if they've been stuffed down long enough, most likely they will burst out. And then this person that you worked and waited for so hard to come back to you will leave you again. The only time I ever got an avoidant ex back was when I finally ditched them, because I wasn't real in their life anymore. You want your avoidant ex back because you want back what you guys had at the very beginning of the relationship. That wasn't real either. Well, it'll never become real, because even though I do believe that avoidants love us very much, and I do believe that avoidants want that connection that maybe they never got growing up, that's what they see in us. That is what they love in us. A lot of times we get together with people because they have traits that we admire. Have you ever had an avoidant tell you that they love you, talk to you about the fantasies they have about you two getting married, and then a week later they are telling you, usually over a text message, that they have to take some space, they don't feel the same way anymore, and they're talking to you, it's almost like they're making you question the entire relationship, because they're talking to you so indifferently. It's this rejection that comes out of nowhere that keeps us on the hook, because our feelings can't just stop. Someone wants to break up with you that you were in love with 1 minute, the feelings don't just stop. You ask them why, and maybe they'll tell you that they just fell out of love, or maybe they won't tell you anything, and you are forced to go online to try to get answers. Our brain wants answers. And that's not always a good thing, because now we are flooded with articles and videos explaining to us that if we can just suppress our needs and constantly look amazing, then we'll get our ex back in no time. Well, that doesn't work for me. I'm not made of metal. I'm made of flesh. And if you are not okay with being half of a human in a relationship, then grab a bottle of nail polish and let's talk. The biggest issue I take with videos about how to get an ex back is they completely cater to who the other person is. What do they want? What do they need? Well, here's an update. They dumped you, so they don't get a vote. What do you want? What do you need? Now, I've said that all of my avoidant exes have come back, and they have, but never in a real or sustainable way. I mean, we've all seen the videos. What do avoidants want? What attracts avoidance? Well, avoidants want to know that they have freedom. Great, they can have it. They gifted it to themselves when they dumped you. Happy birthday. Okay, next. Avoidants want to know that you can solve your own problems and that you don't need them. Well, real life is needing people. Right now, we're all young and hot and able-bodied, but someday, some stuff is going to go down. Someday, no matter how strong, no matter how many strong walls you have built up around yourself, no matter how much you have convinced yourself that you can solve all your own problems and you don't need anybody, you are going to need somebody. Life gets real. And I know that you're not afraid to get real. So now it's time to find somebody who's really in love with you. They like you when you look incredible, and they like you when you haven't showered in 3 days and the babies are screaming. What else do avoidants want? Avoidants want fantasy. Well, that's good because there are so many websites out there willing to offer adults fantasies. They don't need you to give it to them. You want to give somebody a fantasy? Give someone a fantasy who loves you and deserves it. Avoidants love it when you're mysterious because, heaven forbid, they get to know the real you. It's so funny too, because in all of this advice about being mysterious for avoidance, the little cartoon person is always like wearing some kind of kitty cat mask. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to walk around your entire life in a relationship where you have to cover your face or your mouth, sure, go ahead, get your avoidant ex back. There was a girl in the comments, and what she said resonated so clearly in my mind. She said that in the relationship with the avoidant, she felt like she had duct tape over her mouth. And I related so hard to that because I remember when I was going through the breakup with an avoidant person, I would always picture myself going like this. You don't feel like you have a voice. You're not allowed to have a voice. And if you do voice an opinion too strongly, they don't want to listen to it. That's okay. There is someone out there who cannot wait to listen to all your crazy stories. We are all human. We all struggle with mental health issues in dating in our own way. And if you are interested in videos about navigating the dating and relationship world with a healthier, happier mindset, overcoming trauma to improve your relationships, then please subscribe, share this video with someone you know who's going through a crippling breakup, because goodness knows, I wish I had known this stuff years ago. Avoidants love it when you always look good. Impossible. It's not real. The point I'm really trying to drive home is that when you work so hard to get someone back who only wants half of you, then you are agreeing that it's okay to only live half of your life. And it's not even the good parts. It's all surface. It's not the hard times. The hard times are the times that bring people closer together, where you get through them and you look back and you're like, oh my God, do you remember that? That was crazy. These aren't bad things. They can be really scary. I know that people with attachment wounds, they're just scared. We're all human beings. We all want to attach and commit to somebody. We want that lasting love in our life. But it's not your job to always look like a blow-up doll and make sure that you create a safe space for someone so they know that you accept them. And by the way, you already agreed to accept them when you were dating them, when you were married to them, when you said yes to a relationship with them and told them that you loved them. That was you saying, I love you. You're safe with me. There is no reason that now that they've rejected you, now it's your job to cater to them. Take the real person you are and just cut it in half. Throw out the insides. Well, guess what? Welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about your looks. You also have to take care of the inner half. It's a real half. It's a human half. It exists. And speaking of the other half, half of this is about not going back to self-sabotaging behaviors like trying to chase down an ex who has rejected us. But the other half is learning what triggers us. Why do we take these actions in the first place? A lot of times we struggle with insecurities, or we've been completely traumatized by relationships in the past, and now we can't even see the red flags. And if you're interested in learning about more of those things, I'll put some links to those videos in the description below. Yeah, I had another commenter that said that she was with an avoidant boyfriend and their personal, like in-person interactions became more like fewer and farther between. And when she finally texted him one day and called him out on it and was like, "Why are you even dating me? What do you want?" He actually came back to her and said, "Well, I like texting you. You are not a chat bot. You are not just a picture and some black and white words on a screen. You're a living, breathing person. It's not only about what they want. You existed in that relationship. Your feelings were real. You are not crazy. When they told you they loved you, I'm sure they meant it. But it is not your job to now teach the person who's rejecting you that you will always be there for them and that you will provide them a safe space. Love yourself. Stop trying to get your ex back. Go to the gym. Go play a game. Go do something for yourself. Go spend time with somebody who chooses you back. A friend, a family member, a lonely neighbor, and make it all about them. Take the spotlight off of you and this other person who doesn't deserve your energy. That would probably make you feel a lot better today, actually. Ditch the people who are ditching you. Don't settle for half love. That's not what you want. They might want freedom and space, and they are entitled to it. It's their privilege as a free human being. They can do anything they want. You want something different? Go get it. Get it from someone who will give it back to you. Create for yourself a beautiful love song and not some surface, fake, synthetic symphony by Orally. It's actually a very pretty color. Don't hate the color, hate the game. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting The Other Half.